Hey everyone, JagTagger93 back in with another episode of Step by Step with a Casual Cody. For those that don't know, Step by Step with a Casual Cody is my vlog where I go on little rants about Street Fighter V and about my boomer memories with the series of Street Fighter for so many years. Currently in Street Fighter V, I have worked up to gold ranking and I'm giving ranked play a bit of a break right now. I have every single achievement in the game unlocked except for the achievement where you get 1 million fight money and of course the obligatory platinum achievement for getting all the achievements. Currently, I'm about 250,000 fight money away from that 1 million achievement. So right now I'm taking time to get used to a fight stick. I have one, I have a bad habit of, I got it probably around the Xbox 360 PS3 era, and I was using it for BlazBlue, and I was doing okay with it, but as soon as I pick up a new fighting game, I'm more comfortable with a controller, so I put down the fight stick even though it was expensive. I use a controller, I do better, and yeah, but I do want to learn a fight stick, so I'm taking time now to learn the fight stick, and I'm also thinking about playing through, some new characters actually, and learning either Laura or Lucia right now. Now, I appreciate it in fighting games when they try to represent actual martial arts in their characters, especially if it's a popular art that doesn't get too much love in games, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Laura's case. I also really like Lucia as a character for being inspired by the famous actress and Kempo practitioner Cynthia Rothrock. So that's really where I am with the game right now, trying to grind that fight money, doing survivals, trials, and whatnot. And now for my Street Fighter boomer story, which deals with a pretty serious topic here, not gonna lie, bullying actually. Now a few videos ago I talked about old school sportsmanship, but I don't want people to think arcades back in the day were completely wholesome safe spaces. Unfortunately, a lot of times they really weren't. They were areas where bullying and harassment happened, and it was often best if you went to the arcade with friends. Indeed, my childhood arcade, which I really love and miss, was known for being an area where, well, shit went down at night, like drug deals, fights, robberies, and whatnot. So the culture around gaming and fighting games was very problematic even then and prone to bullying. I would know this because, well, I really hate to say it, but, I gotta be real. Back then, for a few years, I was one of those bullies. And I'm about to talk about a time where I tried to bully a girl from my school at an arcade, specifically at a Street Fighter II Championship Edition cabinet, and it horribly backfired on me. So at the time, I was in 7th grade, and then, I was a bully and a complete ass. But I was completely in denial about it, even though deep down I knew what I was doing was wrong. You see, in my mind, what I did to the few kids in my school was somehow justified because, at the time, I remember thinking, well, they're asking for it. And all I ever did was verbally harass them, nothing ever physical or anything like that. And at the time, I didn't really consider it verbal harassment either. I just saw it as, well, lighthearted joking and teasing, repeatedly, despite complaints that what I was doing and saying was hurtful. And of course, when they would tell me to stop, I would just comment like how it's on them for not having thicker skin or not knowing how to take a joke. And in my mind, I was kind of thinking, well, these people that I'm teasing and really harassing, I'm doing them a favor because I'm toughening them up. I'm doing it because I care about them. And when I'm telling them, hard truths. That was really stupid. And again, I was a complete ass back then. I mostly did this stuff just to get the approval of other students, really. And just so I wouldn't be bullied. And one person I teased was this 8th grade girl, usually during lunch. Now, I never initiated it with her. It was usually initiated by a few kids in their own grade. They were a grade higher than me. But I'd always chime in for approval from them or whatever. So, arcade story time. Around May of that year, my school went to Holiday Hill on a field trip, which is like a child's paradise, really. Holiday Hill is like this huge campground. It has a water park there, a free play arcade, and all the ice cream a kid could hope to eat. So while I was there, I saw the girl playing Street Fighter Championship Edition. And my face must have looked like Tom from that Tom and Jerry meme. I grinned ear to ear and saw my chance. I imagined double perfecting her at Street Fighter and then bragging to the other kids at how I did it. I was going to play it cool too. I was going to watch her get salty after getting beaten so badly. And I was totally intending to hog the cabinet afterward, meaning if she wanted to play, she had to beat me. So I walked right up and picked my bro Ken. Now I was kind of expecting her to immediately turn and leave as soon as I walked up to that cabinet, but she stayed there. And she was playing Chun-Li. Now I remember thinking, oh, that figures. The girl picks the girl character. She probably has no idea how to play or who these characters are. So we play and there's a double perfect. But not for me. I was absolutely destroyed. I remember being stunned like this couldn't happen. She was a girl. And she was a person of color. She didn't look like the stereotypical video game nerd. She didn't look like me. Therefore, there was no way she could be on my level. Yeah, I know, again, I was a real immature ass, but I'm trying to keep it real because I know that, even now, there's still plenty of guys that play and think like this today, despite the abundance of evidence to the contrary. Now, I was a privileged white cis male kid to not have other privileged white cis male kids look at me at the arcade and think, based on my looks, yep, easy win over this casual. So after losing, I assumed it was a fluke and played again. And again, I was completely wrecked. The whole time, too, she's not saying a word. I remember saying a few remarks to rattle her as we played, but her Chun-Li did all the retorting that was necessary. We do a third match, and she was still completely silent while playing. I was getting more vocal, and thought if I played a more reactionary game, it would matter, but it didn't. Again, I was absolutely annihilated. So feeling pretty salty, I played her a fourth time. Again, she didn't say a word, but I do remember her giving a sigh like, oh, really? Okay. But this time, when she played me, it was obvious that she was holding back. I would get dizzied and she would not forget me. Now I remember on my earlier video, not hitting someone when they're dizzy was a way of showing sportsmanship. Here, though, it was clearly like, hey, I could end you so many different ways, you're just wasting my time. And yeah, so that fourth match, again, I was completely annihilated, and this was a humbling experience for yours truly. Another dominant 2 rounds where she showed emphatically that she was so much better at this game than I was. So after that series of defeats, I walked away with my tail between my legs, my head low, and I started thinking, for this person to be this good at Street Fighter, they must have really loved this game, just like I do. We had a shared interest. They were not really different from me at all. Well, okay, they were different in a couple big ways. Obviously, they were better at Street Fighter. Much better. They also had much more self-confidence than I did, and unlike me, would not sacrifice what they wanted to do for the approval of others. Also, she was able to rise up above, the toxic gatekeeping community at the time and play this game at a much higher level than I was doing. Now, I'd like to say that I completely changed as a person after that beating, but that'd be inaccurate. You see, I was a 7th grader who still had much learning and growing up to do. However, for the rest of that year, I never said shit to her. I actually regretted how, because of my desire to fit in with one crowd, I never had the chance to be this person's friend. Yeah, my group of friends all like Street Fighter as well, but they were all pretty trash at it. But the thing is that it's weird how no matter how many times you win, it's the losses you remember. And when those losses teach you things and help make you a better person, then they really don't feel like setbacks at all, but kind of like victories in their own right, as you're improving, step by step. Anyway, that's my Boomer Street Fighter story for today. It was a humbling experience, and it made me think about people a little differently. Again, it wasn't a one day immediately change all. I really didn't start changing and maturing until high school. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you're an older player like me, maybe it brought back a few memories, hopefully pleasant ones, right? Yeah, thank you all for watching. This is JagTagger93 signing out. You have a good one.